On the second half of today's show, we welcome Portland's Renegade Opera, founded in 2020 and doing always fascinating work. We have a number of renegades with us here today. I always expect maybe you would be dressed as pirates and swing in on a rope or something. Yeah, well, you never know what's going to happen with Renegade Opera. First off, we're going to start off with Renegade Opera's community curator, Abigail Crossan, and executive director and founder, Maddie Ross. Thanks so much for joining us today.
Thank you for having us.
Yeah, it's so nice to be here.
Yeah, so Abby, tell us a little bit about Renegade Opera.
I'd love to. Renegade Opera is Portland's unconventional opera company, as you may have heard that already, and we are celebrating our 6th season this year. We pride ourselves on a collaborative, creative environment, immersive and engaging performances, and innovative storytelling through opera. Some recent highlights for us include being named Portland's best production of an opera in 2025 by Broadway World. This was for our production of Ashy Days Waking the Witch. And we also recently collaborated with 3 different venues around Portland for our beloved Bird Songs of Opera nature recital. Collaboration is a very important part of our mission. We love producing opera with unconventional partners and accessible locations. As part of that accessibility, I wanted to let you know that all of our shows are available to watch on our YouTube channel, which is Renegade_Opera on YouTube.
All right. And you've got another season coming up that you're working your way into, and we're going to be hearing some things from that today, including a new piece. We're going to get kind of a sneak peek of a sneak peek, right? Is that right, Maddie?
Yes. So the piece I'm about to sing for you all is called Learn Something From Me by Danielle Jagielski, and it's actually a piece that was written for a different song cycle that Danielle was working on. Danielle is our artistic director at Renegade, and the song cycle is called American Patriots. We did a sort of preview performance of that a few seasons back. You can find more information about that on our website. But the piece that I'll be singing is from that project, American Patriots, in sort of just to show you what Danielle's music is like, because she is writing a brand new opera that we are going to be previewing in Santa Fe, New Mexico next week. So if you happen to be listening from Santa Fe and you want to come check it out, I'll tell you a little bit more about that after I sing. But
okay.
Yeah.
Well, should we just hear it then?
I think so. Let's go
do
for
that.
it.
Madeline Ross performing Go Learn Something For Me by Danielle Jagielski here on Thursdays at 3.
Grandmother left
Soprano Madeline Ross and pianist Jesse Price performing Go Learn Something for Me. Tell us a little bit more about that song and where it connects into the season.
Absolutely. So, as I mentioned a little earlier, that's from a piece called American Patriots that we had helped to produce a short sort of preview of a couple seasons ago. And the way that it ties in is Danielle Jagelski, the composer of that piece, is writing an opera called Little Ones. And Little Ones is an opera with libretto, so text for the opera, librettos meaning text for the opera, by Rihanna Yazzie. And Little Ones is a dark comedy set in 1984, the final year of the Intermountain Boarding School in Brigham City, Utah, loosely based on the story of the composer's mother and uncle who attended that school as native students. And so the story follows 4 students through their senior year of high school as they work in vain to keep the school open, actually, when the US government decided to close it, at a time when tribal nations were finally able to take control over those schools and have some space for themselves. So in the middle of all of this upheaval, our characters are, as I said, it's a dark comedy, right? So they're still high school students. They're playing pranks on each other. They're, running through the hallways, flirting with each other, doing things that high school students do with each other all over the world. And the push and pull of that really creates a beautiful story that gives you some important cultural history and also an enjoyable, beautiful storytelling experience through an opera.
Wow. All right. And that's all part of Renegade Opera's new season.
It is.
And that's all. You can find out more information about that at renegadeopera.org. That's one of, I guess, a couple of new things that are coming your way, right?
New things, exactly. One of our big themes for this season is creating space for new opera to be written that is relevant and accessible and makes you feel like opera is for now. And that also includes, so Danielle Jagelski, I mentioned, is our artistic director, and one of our creative company members, one of our kind of team members, is Jesse Price, who's here playing, and they have written an opera based on Edgar Allan Poe's The Raven.
Ah, nice.
Yes, and we are producing this show in the fall, so that will be in October, and there's more information coming on that after you hear a little bit of this music.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Let's have a little taste of Jesse's music for The Raven. Again, we have Renegade Opera here on All Classicals Thursdays at 3. We'll hear an excerpt performed by Abigail Crossan, Claire Robertson Price, and at the piano, Jesse Price on Thursdays at 3.
Distinctly I remember it was in the bleak December, and each separate dying ember wrought its ghost upon the floor. Eagerly I wish the morrow, vainly I had sought to borrow from my book surcease of sorrow for the lost Lenore. sad, uncertain rustling of each purple cotton. Thrilled me, filled me with fantastic terrors never felt before, so that now, to still the beating of my heart, I stood repeating, "'Tis some visitor entreating entrance at my chamber door. Some late visitor at my chamber door. This is it, and nothing more. Presently my soul grew stronger, hesitating then no longer. Said I, "Oh, madam, truly of forgiveness I implore. But the fact is I was napping, and so gently you came rapping, so faintly you came tapping, tapping at my chamber door. But the fact is I was napping, the fact is I was napping, so gently you came rapping, so faintly you came tapping, tapping at my chamber door." That I scarce was sure I heard you. Here I opened wide the door. Darkness there, and nothing more.
Soprano Abigail Crossan and mezzo Claire Robertson Price performing an excerpt from Jessie Price's opera The Raven. Oh my goodness sakes. Jessie, thanks so much for joining us today. On Thursdays at 3.
Thank you for having us.
Yeah, what's...
Oh.
I mean, the obvious question is, why would you want to make an opera about the Raven? Is because it's just such a great poem. But tell me about your personal connection to this amazing piece of literature.
Oh, that could be a long conversation. But yeah, I love this poem. I've known it for as long as I can remember. And I remember, you know, one of my earliest memories of it was actually seeing it on The Simpsons. So
right.
it's kind
Yes.
of funny. But
Yeah, the James Earl Jones reading of it. Wonderful.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah.
But I was really wanting to write an opera a few years ago. I was thinking, how could I start doing this? And yeah, I thought, you know, why not use a great libretto that already exists? So that's why I used this poem, and everybody knows it, and it's a fun story to tell. So,
Yeah, to work with no slouch as a librettist.
Right.
Edgar Allan Poe, right. So how long have you been working on it?
Well, I've been working on it about for 5 years, I would say. Yeah.
Okay.
Maybe the earliest sketches were from like 10 years ago, but...
And this will be staged in the
will.
fall?
It will be staged. We'll have dancers, it sounds like.
All right.
We'll have, it'll be a great performance at the Hallowed Halls.
Oh,
In
nice.
October. And those dates are the October 1st, 2nd, 3rd, 8th, 9th, and 10th. And then we'll also have a showing at Raptor Ridge Winery in October. Date to be set still.
Excellent.
Yeah.
And I know we're going to hear another excerpt of this before you go. So we're looking forward to that. Thank you so much for writing this and for joining us today. Another of the Renegades, Claire wants to tell us a little bit about an event that's coming up in just a couple weeks.
Yeah, well, we're counting down the days to see the full Raven in October. We also have Renegala Paint by Notes coming up on February 28th at Historic Alberta House.
Okay,
And
what's paint by music? What's that?
it's a chance to paint what you hear in the music, and you leave with a depiction of what you heard. So we have a beautiful lineup of pieces, and there's a lead painter who will do a demonstration, and you get to have a synesthesia experience and paint what you hear. There's also food and drink and general
Wow.
merriment.
Yeah, that could affect it too, I would think. Yeah, the food and the drink. Okay, great. And that is on February 28th at.
Historic Alberta House.
Okay. And all the details about everything coming up for Renegade Opera is again at their website, renegadeopera.org. So we're going to wrap up today's show with another excerpt from Jesse's opera setting of the amazing text. And I just, as a former English major, want to pop in here and just say, if you haven't read The Raven in a while, check it out again. It's one of those things everybody knows, but man, is it a ride? So we're going to conclude with a performance here featuring all of the Renegades we have with us today: Abigail Crossan and Maddie Ross, and Claire Robertson Price and Jesse Price at the piano.
And the raven, never flitting, still is sitting, still is sitting, still is sitting, still is sitting, still is sitting. Still is sitting, and the raven still is sitting, and the raven still is sitting, my soul from out that shadow that lies floating on the floor. Shall be lifted nevermore. 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 Shall be lifted nevermore.
Members of Renegade Opera performing an excerpt from the opera setting by Jessie Price of Edgar Allan Poe's The Raven. Renegade Opera will be producing that a live full version this fall. You can find out more about that at their website, renegadeopera.org. You can also find about all the other things that they're up to, including Paint by Music, their Renegala on Saturday, February 28th at Alberta House. What a fantastic program today. Thank you all for coming. Thank you to Renegade Opera and to the Orchid Trio for playing in the first half of the program. I hope all of you enjoyed the program today. You can sign yourself up to be in the studio audience for a future Thursdays at 3 at our website, allclassical.org, and that's where you can always find out more about what's coming up on Thursdays at 3. Also at the website, we'll archive today's program for the next 2 weeks so you can listen on demand, and again, that is at allclassical.org. Thursdays at 3, today, broadcast live from the Irving Levin Performance Hall. Our audio engineers were Dylan Botnarek and Kirsten Volness. I'm Warren Black, and before Jessie Price plays us out today, I want to remind you that it's your support of All Classical Radio that makes a show like this possible. It's also what makes the whole radio station possible. So thank you for your generous contribution to this service.